Hello, friends. My name is Stefan, aka Bald Beastie. I'm the mechanics guy for 13th Moon Games, and I'm here with a character tutorial for Coven Crucible. Now, a lot of the stuff I've already researched and selected so that this video isn't going to be too terribly long. However, it should give you the basics of how to create a character, how to enter the stuff in the sheet, what the stuff means on the sheet, and why I chose the things that I did. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Looking here at the character sheet, you can see there are a couple of things. Green, yellow, and red, those are things that you would add together to get a target number, which is basically the basic formula, which we'll cover all of this in the mechanics video soon to be posted as well. So you'd have the green boxes here for will, body, agility, magic. Those are the attributes. And then you have the green boxes here for traits. And then you have the yellow boxes here for skills, academics, magical, strategic, all of that. And then the red boxes here for sub-skills. The red boxes are important because those are designating that those are your levels of success, and those are also additive with traits. And we'll explain a lot more of that in the mechanics video, but we want to get right into this so that we can get this video up and so you can see how to make a character using the core rules for Coven Crucible. So we've decided that we're going to make a diviner. All right, so we're going to name her Doris Day. And we decided that her house is going to be Greek Triad. And of that Greek Triad, she's going to be from House Medea. Okay, because she's going to be diviner. She's kind of focused on that. We're going to say that she is a trans woman. Age mid-20s, we'll say 25. Height and weight are really not that important, but we'll say 5'8" and 185. All right, pentacles and armor we'll get to, but for right now, let's get right into it. So everybody starts attributes first. Attributes are going to be will, body, agility, and magic, and those are pretty self-explanatory, also described in the core rulebook. Everybody starts with 3 levels of each, and then we have 7 levels to divide among those 4 attributes. Now we want this diviner, we want her to be really magically focused, so we're going to assign as many levels as we can to magic. Now the cap for attributes is 7, so we're going to put 4 of our 7 levels, into that. And then we're going to put the remaining 3 levels into will because we want her to be kind of book smarty. So there we go. And those are our 7 levels assigned. Easy peasy. Next, we're going to jump down over here to skills. Now, the skills are with the yellow boxes here. You can select, everyone starts with 4 levels in each. And then you have 13 levels to divide amongst those skills. So it doesn't seem like a lot, I know, but we'll get there. Okay, so 13. We said we want her to be a diviner, magically inclined, so we're going to put all of her as many starting levels as we can into magical. The cap for skills is 13, so that means we're going to need to put 9 in magical to make that magical 13. And then that's going to leave us 4 left over, which means we are going to assign, and we want her to be kind of strategic. So we're going to give her 4 more levels in strategic, 4 and 8. All right. The last thing, well, second to last thing we're going to assign is sub-skills. Now, you can see here there are 9 skills, and among those 9 skills, there are 7 sub-skills under each. That's a lot. We have given everyone 63 levels to assign for sub-skills. And what I usually do is I pick out the few that I would like the character to really specialize in, because these levels here are going to dictate how well a person succeeds at the skill that's listed here. And we know we want her to be a diviner, so we're going to say 7 in divination. That's the cap. Sub-skills cap out at 7. Now we know we want her to be decent at the occult, because that's also like the formulation of magic. So we want to do that as well. Then we're going to go through and say, all right, we know, let's look at some of the academic skills. We want her to be book smarty, so we're going to give her 7 levels of lore. And we're also going to give her 7 levels of history. Okay? And then we're going to go over here to strategic. We want her pretty clear-sighted, keen-sighted. So we're going to give her 7 levels of awareness. And then we know that we're going to want to give her a familiar, because witches just, they function better with familiars. Familiars add bonuses to anything involving magic. So we're going to give her 1 level of animal handling so that she can get a familiar. That's a requirement for that trait. And then we're going to say her backstory is that she's going to be a manager at this coffee shop in the Crucible of Chicago called Magic Beans. So she's going to be like the staff manager there. So we want her good at organization. So we're going to give her 6 levels of that. Now, why 6? Why not 7? Because I like to group things in groups of 7 for, well, one, ease of math, but also because of how many points are going to be left over. So if we count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 42 levels of our 63 that we spent for subskills assigned to subskills. That leaves us with 21 left over. And that's important because subskills range in level from 1 to 3. And 21 divided by 3 is 7. That's going to give us 7 more traits that we can apply. So that's why I did that. But don't feel obligated. Make your own character the way you want to make them. Just understand that specialists are designed to, this game is designed for specialists, and specialists work well with groups because you want to get together with a group of other witches and accomplish your goals. So coming up with a theme and a concept for this character before you start assigning levels is really super important, and what kind of specialist you want them to be. Now, going over to traits here, you can see everyone starts with 7 levels of traits. So we're going to go here. We want her to be a really good diviner, right? So we're going to put trained by mentor divination, right? And that's a level 3 trait. Now what that does is that raises the sub-skill listed, which in this case is divination, 1 per level above cap. So that means that having this trait would give her a divination of 10 because it goes 3 levels above cap, because that's the level of the trait. So now she is exceptional at divination, right? And when she succeeds, she does really, really well. So back over here. Next, we're going to go to, let's give her a house trait. From the Greek triad, there's a house trait called Gaia's skill. And what that does is each level will add, of the trait, will add 1 to any formula involving the magic attribute, which is pretty handy. But the most benefit is that it adds 1 to the LOS at level 3, level of success. So that means anything with the magic attribute, they're just going to succeed better. All right. And then, we have 1 more level for our beginning stats starting out for traits. So we're going to give her common sense because that makes sense for her. And then now we still have 21 levels left over. So let's start digging in, getting her really super specialized in magical stuff and some other things as well. So specialized training, magical. That means that any formula involving the magical skill will have its target number increased by the level of the trait, which is 3, and the LOS will increase by 1 as well, level of success. So anything involving any magical subskill that's being used, if the magical skill is being used in that formula, it's increased. Then we're going to go with, we want to give her a familiar, like we said, and you can decide what that familiar will be. It can be a snake, it can be a hawk, it can be a cat, it can be a dog. Keep in mind you want the familiar around with them, and sometimes, like in this case, she's going to work in a type of restaurant, a coffee shop, so dogs probably wouldn't be, or cats even, wouldn't be really accepted as well because it's a big retail store. So probably I'd say like a snake or something, maybe a hermit crab or a snail, something like that. There's giant snails are pretty cool. All right, so then we're going to go 3. And the cool benefit of that is that it's going to also add 3 to anything involving, to the LOS, the level of success, to anything involving the magic attribute or the magical skill. Next, we want sub-skill mastery in divination, which we'll call divination mastery. And again, I've selected all these already to shorten the length of the video. All of this is explained, and you can read up on the traits in the core rulebook in part 1 under character creation. All right. And 1. All right. And now we're going to go into some other things here. So we're going to say we want her to be specialized in some organizational stuff and some strategic stuff. So we're going to look at the other two house traits for the Greek triad, which are going to be Artemis's cunning, which adds to any formula involving the strategic skill. And then we're going to add Athena's wisdom, which focuses on anything involving the organizational subskill. Okay, so right off the bat, we're going to see anything that involves strategic is going to be having this increased by 3 and by 1 for the level of success, and Athena's wisdom, same thing for anything involving organization. So, and as you can see, organization falls under the strategic skill. So that means that these two traits will stack when doing anything with organization. And then we're going to go on to, we want acute senses, because we want her, like I said, clear-sighted, keen-sighted. It's going to be level 3 and 1. And then the last thing we'll say psychic ability, because that is for divination. And we want her to be really good at divination. So that's it. That is the character creation, divvying up all the levels. Now, again, I made it look easier because I already went through and pre-calculated these and looked at them because that takes a little time. But for the basics, this is it. So now we have our diviner, Doris Day. Let's figure out some of these derived stats. So initiative. The initiative modifier is your will plus agility, right? So her initiative is 9. Her martial block, we don't have any martial blocks, so it's no martial skills whatsoever, so that's going to be a 0. Her dodge, also no martial skills, so that's going to be a 0. Her magical block, which is going to be for like warding. She has no levels of warding, so that's also going to be 0. Okay? She's going to rely on her friends to help keep her safe. Her speed is her body plus agility plus athletics times 2. So we have 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 4 in athletics is 10, times 2 is 20. So her speed is 20. Her sprint is normally double her speed. So that's going to be 40. And there we go. All right, now health. Health is 2 times your body plus 13. So her body is 3 times 2 is 6 plus 13 is 19 levels of health. Hits before death is her levels of body without any other traits added in. So it's going to be 3. There are traits that help with this as well. What hits before death means is that's how many hits, not damage, but how many hits you can take after you are reduced to 0 health. So it doesn't matter how much damage somebody does if they only hit this once Doris gets knocked down to 0 health. If they hit her only twice, there's a chance she's still going to survive. And then magic resistance. Magic resistance is going to be based off of your levels of success for endurance, but it's a magic plus magical plus endurance. That's the formula. So we know that Gaia's skill adds to magic. We have specialized training adds to magical. And then we have familiar adds to magic as well. So that's going to be 3, 4, 5. That's the LOS, levels of success. So that is what her magic resistance is. Not great, but not bad. That means, and I'll tell what that translates in the video on the mechanics. You'll get more into that. But right now, let's just calculate that. So there we have it. That is the character basics, just skeleton there. Let's fill in 2 of these things just for reference. Now, over here, this is for ease of gameplay. It will speed along things because you'll already know your target number and levels of success. So we'll do this here. We'll say divination because that's her specialty. And then we'll go down here to awareness. All right. Now we're going to go to target number. So the target number here, divination. Target number for that is going to be the formula magic plus magical plus divination. And that's going to be a lot. So we can see 7 plus Gaia's skill is 3 is 10, 13, 3 is familiar is 14, 15, 16. Divination Mastery is 17, 18, 19. Plus 13 is 32. Plus 10 is 42. All right. And then Psychic Ability adds to Divination as well. So that's 3 more. So it's a 45. That's a pretty high target number. What the target number is, that's what you have to roll under on 2d12. Now, it seems like it would make a lot of sense that that's just going to be way over the top. It is. But there's also things to consider like difficulty ratings. And we'll talk about those in the mechanics video as well. Levels of success. Adding those levels of success together, we're going to start with the sub skill, which is 10. And then we're going to go through here. 10. 1 for Psychic Ability, it's 11. 1 for Divination Mastery, it's 12. 3 for Familiar, that's 13, 14, 15. 1 for Specialized Training, that's Magical, it's 16. And Gaia's Skill makes it 17. That is a tremendously high level of success, which is amazing. I mean, she is an incredible diviner. Awareness, well, here we go. Awareness, I've already done the math, so trust me on this, it's going to be a 24. Normally, if you look at the sheet, it might be a 27. That's what you might get, but because Psychic Ability has a drawback. Psychic Ability makes you really good at divination, but because you're a good diviner, your senses are a bit overloaded, so that's going to reduce your target number of awareness by 3, or by its level. In this case, 3. And then your levels, but it doesn't reduce your levels of success, which is good because your levels of success are 9. And now if we're going to do organization and history, organization, I've already done the math. That's going to be 26 and 8. And then lore or history, those target number there is 17. Level of success is 7. And there you have it. Again, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. Appreciate it. And subscribe would also be helpful. We're going to try to put out some tutorial videos and do some question and answer and things like that with some engagement. So hopefully leave those comments. If you have questions, we'll put the link to this character sheet that you can copy for yourself in the description as well. Otherwise, have a great day, friends.